Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited. Today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite travel destinations, as you have been requested to share a little bit more of traveling content. So here we go. If you're new here, I'm Svetlana. I used to work for 4 years within Qatar Airways, so I have a lot to share of my traveling experiences as well working there. And today I'm starting with number 5 of my traveling and favorite countries, and as well my favorite layovers. As you remember, in my pros and cons video part 1, I'm sharing about the pros that if you work for Qatar Airways, you have the chance to travel to amazing destinations, rare destinations, and one of it for me was New Zealand. It's a beautiful country, and it's extremely beautiful country. I don't have even words to describe how beautiful it is, and I'm a nature lover, so I really appreciate more like a beautiful, unique sightseeing places that I can go. And well, I bid for this flight couple of months because it was a new destination, so you usually have to bid for the flights and you need to get a layover in order to see something. Otherwise you might do flights that are just turnarounds. However, I bid for the flights. Was the longest one that I ever did as a crew. 17 hours was pretty exhausting because I also had an assessment on that flight. I was a fresh business class crew, and having an assessment to such a long haul flight was really getting my nerves because I was still new, still learning, still trying to figure it out everything, and also because I had already my plans during this layover. So we had also a 5 hours a crew rest. If you're asking me how did manage such a long flights, yes, you can sleep during this 5 hours, but I couldn't sleep very well. I couldn't even eat anything. I was just nervous, and yeah, when I landed there, we went back to the hotel and I took a shower and I went back to the airport by myself. You're asking why. So I told only to the captain what I'm doing because I didn't want to share that with the crew. Officially, if you're working in Qatar Airways, you're not allowed to go more than 2 hours driving from the hotel. And yeah, for 56 hours I thought I could even fly. I don't need to drive. So I went to the airport and I took a flight to Queenstown. It's the another end of the country, so it's a 20 hours driving, 2 hours flight, and yeah, crazy experience. And if you also remember, one of the pros that you have working as a cabin crew in Qatar Airways is the discount tickets, not only with Qatar Airways, but as well with other airline companies. And one of it was Air New Zealand. So I paid the ticket, I think was less than $100 to go there, and I could take it while I was there working on a layover. So I strongly advise you don't to follow my example. Why? Because it was a high risk. I measured the risk. I went and I came back on the same day. But imagine that anything happened, that you got stuck, you can really lose your job and you'll be not able anymore to do such a crazy thing ever. But at the same time, now looking back at that, I don't regret because it was something that I really needed to do. So I went to Queenstown because I want. We live once, so I decided to do something like this to challenge myself. I'm so excited. Wish me luck. Cross finger. I hope I survive. Bungee jumping. Yes, I went there to fly, and I came back the same evening. So when I arrived in Queenstown, I was looking at the city itself. It's one of the most beautiful cities I ever seen. It's the sky was so blue and the green was so green. Everything was like so unreal. Like I felt like I'm in a fairy tale. So from the airport, I took a bus to go to the city, where is the center of the bungee jump. They measure my weight. There were like a few questions if I'm healthy and so on. And then we took another bus to go for half an hour to Karawa Beach. So this is the home of bungee jump. That's the first ever bridge that everything started from there. And that was one of the main reasons that I wanted to do my bungee jump. If I do only one time this, I want to do it in the most special ever places and the home of the bungee jumping. And the destination is beautiful. So imagine me after 17 hours taking another 2 hours flight, not properly sleeping, not properly even eating, going for a bungee jump. I know it's crazy, it's insane. It's super brave. But I paid, I remember, 250 New Zealand dollars that time. Maybe now the price is different. And they provided me a video and a couple of pictures and a t-shirt. I did my bungee jump, and
Go, 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 go!
I need to jump myself?
Yes, you jump yourself, mate.
One.
Use those legs. 3, 2, 1,
Two.
go! Whoa!
Okay. One, two.
So, don't look down before you jump, just keep looking out this way. You can do it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
This is my face. I did it. It was super extreme. I cannot breathe, but I jumped from this thing. I was down there.
funny, right? So I know it was really funny to watch myself because I didn't do correct the bungee jump. I didn't. You have to do like a diving, but I just jumped with my legs, which was wrong. And that was one of the reasons why I was saying you don't follow my example, because if you hurt your back, then good for bad for you, because as a cabin crew you might really need a lot your back, and it should be a strong. And human nature that we always think how to survive, not how to put ourselves in dangers, right? But at the same time, I was thinking, oh, if I die, at least the view in front of me is beautiful, and I will have something beautiful that I saw. And then I jumped, and I cannot imagine, like I cannot even describe the feelings that I had in this few seconds. I felt alive. I felt like I had my life like passing through for a couple of seconds. It sounds cliche, but it was the case. It was like so extreme, and I was so happy after that, because I needed that. I needed to go out of my comfort zone, because this was the year when I decided to leave Qatar Airways, and I was always finding excuses to stay a bit longer. And I was like, no, but I have to visit that destination, and I have to do that. And then you're never ready. I was never ready to do that bungee jump, but I did it, and I'm happy. You will be never maybe ready to do, to be a cabin crew, but then you have to jump and just go to the interview. Even though you're not perfect, you don't need to be perfect. So I realized this, and if you can do something small like that, it will give you a lot of power and confidence to do other things in your life that you always think that you're not ready about that. So when I did the bungee jump, I went back to the airport, I catch my flight, I went to Auckland, and I went straight to the hotel, and I slept for 10 hours or even more. So I was pretty exhausted. And I remember on the next day, I wanted to do something else as well. So I'm this kind of person that every time I had a layover, I had to utilize the time as much as possible. And especially when you have a new destination like New Zealand that you don't know when you are going back. Usually the crew go to Waikiki Island and Hobbiton. So I missed Waikiki Island. I believe it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's a place where you can also test wine, like the wine testing and so on. But I thought it's not as unique as going to see Hobbiton. So I decided to do that on my own. I remember the crew that time, they basically did their choices, and I sometimes suggest, if you want to do something, don't stick always to the crew, even though you're alone with it, but you will do what you want. So I decided that I want to go to Hobbiton. I did my research as advices. In that hotel, we are usually staying with Emirates cabin crew, so they organized themselves, and I didn't know anyone, so it's really hard sometimes to connect with people on layover and with other crew that you didn't even work with. So I know that there's some organized tours, or they rent a car, they do this kind of organization. But in my case, I did my research, and I found that there is a bus going to Hobbiton. So it took 2 hours. Again, not allowed completely, but obviously I decided to break all the rules on this layover. And I went to Hobbiton. It was beautiful also, because it's where the movie set was shot, and they explained us the whole story about the Lord of the King. In the beginning, it was not open for public; it was just for the movies. But then they decided to make it commercial and to start earning also money from that. So they open it for tourists like us. So you can spend a couple of hours there. They will explain you whole the story. Then you have like a small tea coffee area there that you can grab something. And there I met Emirates crew. So we took a lovely pictures together. We talked, we laughed. So it was so lovely. And then I went back by myself, because they had rented a car, so they had some other places that they were planning to go. So, however, Then I went back, and on the next day was my flight. My pickup time was like a lunchtime, so in the morning I basically just had a breakfast. I met some of the crew on the breakfast, and then get ready to go back to Doha. So that's not the usual layover that you might have in summer, because I'm always thinking that you have to make memories and to live the moment and to go for things that makes you happy. And at the same time also was thinking, yeah, 20, 30 years after, when I have grandchildren or children, I'll be happy to tell them these crazy stories of mine and how brave I was to go and jump on my own, and then to go to Hobbiton to see the movie set and to do things that I was really passionate about, and something that was inside in me. It was my desire. So I hope this experience and traveling also excites you and motivates you to keep on traveling and exploring, and also to understand that being a cabin crew doesn't mean only staying in the hotel, and it's the other way around. You have so many things to do, and then you start also evaluating and seeing that you can do so much in 56 hours, things that you never thought you can do in your normal life. So yeah, let me know if you have any other questions and requests, and I hope you enjoy. And also don't forget to subscribe so you get notifications when I get the new video. So stay tuned, and kisses, bye!